How's it going, y'all? Welcome back to the Gil Podcast. This podcast is about me, Gil, and the things that I'm currently obsessed with. On today's episode, I'm going to be going over some security risk you or your loved ones might be facing right now or have faced in the past or will be facing in the future. This episode is all about hacking, and it's going to be a really interesting topic, so stay tuned. The way I get my podcast topics are through having everyday conversations with people, maybe like 50-50. I'll be having a conversation with a coworker, a client, a loved one, a stranger, or I will just be listening to a random person at a coffee shop. This podcast topic came from a conversation I had with an individual a couple of months ago, and it was extremely alarming. Well, a couple of months ago, this guy walked up to me. He's somebody that I know. I've known him for a couple of years. I wouldn't say he's a friend, more of like somebody that I just know. And he came up to me. Hey, nah. You know I know some famous people out there. You know what I mean? I looked at him and said, what are you talking about? Hey, I see you was talking about that dude. That's my boy. I'm like, who are you talking about? I saw you was talking about The Rock on Facebook. It was a correspondence I was having with a friend about The Rock running, not running for president, but being Black Adam. It's a comic book character role that was talked about maybe in 2011. And I remember reading a tweet that The Rock even tweeted himself saying that, hey, that'll be an interesting role. Mana forever, tequila. So he talked about that role, and I was talking about that to another friend. And so this guy's like, hey, Nancy, you better watch your mouth when you talk about my boy. That's my boy. And he just kept saying that. I just looked at him. Yeah, man, everybody loves The Rock. So later in confidence, he walked up to me. He's like, hey, I actually know The Rock. I was like, that's cool. That's what's up, man. He's like, yeah. So, we talk a lot, you know what I'm saying? Online. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I don't care. Even if he was talking to The Rock, cool beans. The Rock is an amazing individual. I would vote for The Rock to be president. As many times as I could do push-ups, I think I could do like 20 straight push-ups right now. If I could do 20 straight push-ups, that's how many times I'll vote for The Rock. I'll vote for The Rock to be president of America, of the world. So yeah, I have no issues with The Rock, but it's just you telling me you're friends with him. I didn't really care. So he's like, yeah, The Rock, he's my boy. I'm like, that's cool. We talk all the time. I was like, so where do you talk? Because this conversation is interesting. Where do you talk to The Rock? And he showed me, he pulled out his dusty Android phone. I'm just like, okay, cool. You're talking to pretty much Rock is a billionaire, whatever. You're talking to a billionaire on your Android phone. Great, that's what's up. And he's showing me a correspondence he's having with a broken English bot, from what I can see. Like, just the way that the sentences are being displayed on the message. It's a Facebook Messenger app that he's corresponding with The Rock using Facebook Messenger, but it's not The Rock. It's this weird name, but it says The Rock on there. And the English is so broken, it doesn't really it makes sense, but it's more like, oh, nobody who speaks English would say this specific phrase in this specific order. Even though it does sound like they're speaking English and it does make sense, theoretically speaking, nobody speaks that proper, especially The Rock, a Black Samoan that lived in Miami and who's a celebrity. He wouldn't speak like that. So instinctually just was about to reply and say, "That's not The Rock. You're speaking to like a hacker." But I'm like, you know what? It's not my business. But later on, I did tell him, "Hey man, be careful what you're doing online. Sometimes these people aren't who they say they are." And of course, I was labeled as being a hater because he knows The Rock and I don't. That's fine. But this episode, I really just wanted to talk about how you can find out you're talking to a hacker, or you're finding out you're talking to somebody who is probably like looking for information about you. Because the correspondence he was having with the gentleman, he was asking for emails. He was asking for where he lives at, things that a hacker would need to know if later on in the future, the conversation, the relationship moves forward where he needs, "Hey man, my jet broke down in Pompano. I know you live in Pompano, so there's a private airport in Pompano off of Cypress Creek. You mind, giving me your debit card on here, and I can just like pay for a quick gas. I just need like $50. That's what that could turn into, because The Rock has built a relationship with this person, and trust me, it's gonna make sense later on when I'm talking about it. And I wrote some notes down here because I just really wanted to make this podcast, because there's a lot of people out there who are using computers or using phones. Kids are using phones. Kids are using computers. And we don't understand that there are people who will take advantage of your ignorance. And you have so much information that these people can use to take advantage of you. So be really, really careful. So I wrote that people don't understand that they can be hacked in everything. Instagram, text messages. Like, even speaking about the text messages, a lot of us are getting links and texts from FedEx, Amazon every single day. It's so mundane. But the thing is for people to do, and I tell this to everybody, there are certain strings, certain text patterns. There are specific ways that these companies will have a correspondence with you. They'll say, hey Vince, your package of Kleenex came in, it arrived. And it'll just say that, and you'd be like, I didn't order no damn Kleenex. What the hell? So then you'd be like, oh, I guess but what some people would think, I guess I'm getting some free Kleenex. Or I guess I'm getting a free microphone, whatever the case is. It'll say, your microphone package arrived, and it'll be a link. It'll look just like an Amazon link, and you will click it, and it won't be Amazon. It'll be something. It'll take you to Amazon, but what will end up happening is that website will then get as much information as it can, and it'll be Amazon.com, and you'll just log in. Hey bro, just log in. Okay, I gotta log in to see what this order is, because it says that I just got Kleenex at my door. So you're gonna be logging into Amazon.com. You're gonna put in your email, put in your password, and then once you do that, the website crashes. Oh, you gotta put the password in again. So what ends up happening is, let's say your email is sarah22@gmail.com. Your password is sarah22@gmail.net or whatever. You put in the password. Oh, I did change my password 6 months ago, I think. So now you change it to your other password, Sarah22 Facebook. So you use your password for your Facebook. Oh, that didn't work either. Oh, it's probably my other password. So what you're actually doing is giving the hacker your email and 3 different passwords, or depending on how many times you put the password in, you're giving them 6 to 7, 8 passwords that you use. Think about that. Now they have your email, and then they have 6 different passwords that you use for different platforms. And you don't really think about it, because that's the thing. We use the same password for almost every app, right? But then we end up changing it 3 months later, and you don't really remember. So then when you go on this fake phishing website, that's what's called, phishing, you would put in your email and your password that you use for that specific site. And then when that password doesn't work because the website is not real, it's just gathering your password information. You're just going to type in this password, type in the other password, and you'll be like, what password is it? What is it? And it's not going to let you in. But what you did is give all your passwords to this specific hacker. In 2009, I was going to school for computer forensics. And I was practicing, like, you know, the idea of phishing and stuff like that. And I wasn't the head tech guy at my church. I think this is before that. So I was doing tech at my church, doing the websites, Twitter, you know, doing all the hymns and stuff, all the video editing and live streaming at my church. But we were doing a lot of things with our computers, and I was going to school for computer forensics. So I picked up a few things or two about phishing, where you would, you know, make a fake website or fake an email to get your password, to get a password from somebody. So I created a Facebook phishing website. So when you open up my laptop, I had a Dell. People back in the day, for some reason, they would just type in their passwords on anybody's phone. I didn't even check my Facebook because, you know, back in the day, having a laptop, having a phone with internet access, it was like, okay, cool. Most people have it, but a lot of people don't. And checking your Facebook was a thing you do. Oh, I gotta check how many likes I got. I'm going to check my pokes. Remember pokes? So people would check their pokes and check their things. And it just felt so mundane to me. I think I was probably like, 19 years old at the time. It just was like, so you're going to log into somebody's random computer or random phone to check your Facebook. You're putting your email and your password. More than likely, your email and password is the same email and password that you use for your email client, your Gmail or your Yahoo, because people are lazy. So I created a Facebook fake page where you sign in. It's Facebook, and you put in your email and you put in your password. As soon as you hit login, it creates a note file on my desktop with your email and password. So they'll hit retry. And what I would do is, you know, I'll say, oh my gosh, maybe my Wi-Fi is off or something. So I reset the Wi-Fi, close the page, and actually open up Facebook, and they log in. And I did that with 4 people. So what ended up happening was, I logged into their Facebook, which is, these were friends. I didn't do anything malicious. I posted on their status and said, don't ever just use anybody's laptop to log on to Facebook. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I got hacked. I'm like, yeah, but you did it to yourself. Like, you can't just trust anybody. Like, yeah, I'm nice, so I'm letting you know that this experience can happen to you and you didn't even notice it. So how many times does that happen to you outside of this church building? Like, you log onto anybody's phone. What if you forget to log out? You know what I'm saying? So you are exposing yourself. So some of these people were probably just really, really scared, and they thought that I would have their password forever. It's like, no, change your password now and make it so hard that, you know, then with one of the girls, like I said before, she used her same email and password as a bunch of other things. So I said, hey, I bet you use the same email and password for everything. So I logged onto her email client, her Yahoo, and I logged onto that. It's like, you gotta try to protect yourself. You never know what can happen. Like, you probably could be applying for a job and they need your social security number or whatever the case is. And then the hacker has your email and they set a filter to where certain strings of numbers or certain phrases, where if you get an email from a job or you're sending out an email, they can set a filter and say, anytime they see the words social security, or anytime they see the word driver's license or a bank account or routing number, that email will be forwarded to them and you would even know it. So, because they have access to your email. So it's just one of those things you have to be really, really careful about. I know it's just rambling on, and I know somebody just like, man, this is boring. can you just tell us a funny story? No, this is serious, man. Like, this is really serious. This is something that we are going to have to be worried about. Like right now, there are a lot of people who have firearms, who have guns to protect their homes. What the hell do you have to protect your social and digital identity? And I said social identity as well, because if somebody logs on to your Facebook and Instagram, they can pretty much do anything. And digital identity is, something as far as along the lines of like your credit score, where you live, stuff like that. Like digital, social, almost the same, but not really, in my opinion. One of the things that was something that I've always had in my head instinctually, I'm a pretty woke dude, know what I mean? I'm pretty woke out here, and I got my third eye open. But there's one thing I always thought about, and it was confirmed.
The phone scam trapping Americans with a single word. Authorities say it begins as soon as you answer the phone. A voice on the other end asking, "Can you hear me?" Once you answer yes, that's all they need. Investigators say they are recording your answer for a reason. ABC's chief business correspondent Rebecca Jarvis out to protect your money.
Tonight, the new government warning of a growing phone scam.
Can you hear me okay?
Teresa Thomas says she got the call at home in Minneapolis.
She was giggling and she said, "Oh, I didn't expect you to pick up. Can you hear me?"
Seems innocent enough, but here's how it works. You pick up. The voice on the line asks, "Can you hear me?" When you answer yes, the scammer is recording and can use that yes to authorize future charges. Teresa was lucky.
If it sounds fishy, hang up and don't provide any information, of course, about you.
Tonight, experts urging caution. Don't answer calls from unknown numbers. Take advantage of any free robocall blocking service from your phone carrier and report suspicious numbers to the FCC.
David, one more possible red flag in this scam. The caller asks if you want to be added to the Do Not Call registry. The government will never phone you to ask this question. Just hang up.
When you get a phone call, why the hell do you say hello first? First of all, you didn't need them. They're the ones calling you. When somebody calls me now, well, even before, I would just answer the phone and wait for them to say, hello? Because you think when somebody calls you, you have to say, hello? Hi, who's this? Are you there? No, you don't have to say anything. They're calling you. There's a thing. Phishing is when I have to set the bait, right? I have to set the bait and I'm waiting for you to click the link, type in your email, click the link when I text you. You click the link when I text you. I send you a DM on Instagram. Hey, bruh. Hey, I got a link for Bitcoin. Click the link for Bitcoin. You click the link. That's phishing. Spear phishing is when you are talking to somebody or looking for information about them. Like there's the things where you can find out where somebody lives. It's so easy. Like for me, I was going to school for this because I'm pretty much actively interested in this type of stuff because everybody puts the information out and it's so easy to just pretty much know where somebody is, knows how to reach them, know where they are, know their friend circle, know their group. It's ridiculous. And spear phishing is when you actively seek out those informations by, via text message, group chats, emailing, or you just ask something just so mundane, like, because I'm a photographer, so I get like messages from like a model or a producer. Hey, buddy, I'm a producer here in Brickell, Miami. I post a lot of images depicting Brickell, Miami, and I've even put the notification that I'm there. I'm a producer here in Brickell, Miami. I'm looking for a photographer. My budget for my photo shoot is $30,000. Are you located in Brickell? I'm like, I don't live in Brickell, but I live in Deerfield Beach. Ding, they know where I live. Oh, great. Do you have a business or do you have an LLC? Yeah, I have an LLC. Oh, what's your LLC? What's your business name? Then with that, they'll get to see if my LLC has my home address on there or my office address, and they'll be like, oh, now we know where he lives. Now we know his full name. Now we just got to get his social security. And then they would find out where I work. So then they'll call my job. They've done this with people that I know. They'll call the job and figure out what shift this person's works, by going on their social media, on their Facebook. And if they are malicious, since they know your shift, they know where you live, they know where you work, they can come see you. And they could plan and plot when you're ordering packages, and because they're watching your email, because more than likely you've been phished, and they can just swipe your packages, and it could just be a revolving door where there can literally be a hacker that just sits and steals everything from everybody every single day. Like, hey, it looks like Susie's getting a cardigan jacket from Amazon. I think I need a cardigan jacket. And they can just walk up to your house and take your cardigan jacket. And when you think you're about to get off work and feel really cool, like Carlton from Fresh Prince, you go to your front door and there's no cardigan jacket in the box. It's just probably an empty box and just probably just a smiley face or something. Actually, there's probably no box because maybe the hacker is like pro recycling. He takes a cardboard box and puts it in your recycling bin. That'd be really dope. If hackers could basically have some type of positive reinforcement, yeah, they'll screw you over. But if you're ordering like toxic things, I'm actually for that. If there's hackers out there that would hack you and phish your shit and phish your account, and they'll see if you're ordering like anything that's toxic to environment, they'll, as soon as it arrives at your place, they'll like get rid of it, discard it and stuff like that. There are different type of hackers though, all jokes aside. I was one of the, I know it sounds funny, but I was a script kiddie. Script kiddie essentially is, because I didn't write that string of code for the phishing, it was already provided. It'll be on like, a lot of hacker websites that I won't even mention because it's just bad stuff. And you would just get these strings of code, and you have to make sure you're trusting the strings of code, because hackers hack hackers because it's fun. That's what some people do. You have your white hat hackers who are top tier. That's what I wanted to like move up to. But you have your top tier hackers where they are essentially good people and they would hack for the good of the world. Like that's probably like one of the things that I wanted. And then you have your top tier baddies, like your red hat hackers. Your red hat hackers, they're like government agents, spies, I've gods here. Like they have high level access to see and hear everything. But yeah, that's what this episode is about. Just be really careful out there when you're perusing on the internet. Use the VPN if you can, but be really careful about your VPNs. I know somebody's going to be asking me right now. I can hear it. I use DuckDuckGo to hide myself online. DuckDuckGo doesn't really work. DuckDuckGo, you're still using your phones or your computer's IP address to navigate the internet. DuckDuckGo just hides your searches, from what I understand. But you're still using your telephone. You still use the AT&T to look up, whatever you're looking up, and they can still find what you're doing. So it doesn't really work. You need a VPN, which is a virtual private network. And you can get a VPN from NordVPN. I've used NordVPN in the past. It's really cool. And it's really powerful. A really cool thing about VPN is that a lot of people don't realize that Netflix and a lot of other shows and other streaming services have different shows in different countries. Like there are certain shows that we have on Netflix that other countries don't have. And there are certain shows that other countries have that we don't have. And when you have a VPN, you can pretty much say, I'm about to go to Ukraine, boy. And you just pop in your Ukraine mode on your VPN. So your computer thinks, or your internet thinks that you're in the Ukraine, which is Pretty nice. It's pretty cool. All right, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed this quick little podcast. If you enjoyed it, let me know. Also, I was having some, for some reason, the description of the podcast where I put like the donation link, it wasn't working. And I found that out because somebody said, hey, I was trying to donate, but the link was broken. I was like, okay, I got to fix that. So the donation link is now working. So if you guys want to support the show, you can do so down below. If you have any questions, and you can just DM me or just send an email at contact@guildormeus.com. So you can email me at contact@guildormeus.com. All right, y'all. I love you guys. Peace.